In today's video, we're talking about fretboard diagrams, why you might want to think about using them in your playing if you're not already, and where you can get some great free templates to start working with. Hey guys, you're in the studio with Luke from GuitaristIQ.com. Thank you once again so much for joining us. Guitarists have developed some fairly interesting and unique ways of communicating their ideas which move outside of traditional music notation. For me, probably most of the guitarists that I've met are far more familiar with things like tabs and chord charts and fretboard diagrams than they are standard, music scores. Now, there's probably a bunch of reasons why this may or may not be the case. Probably one thing which relates to this discussion fairly centrally is to do with instrument anatomy. And by that I mean fundamentally how the guitar is built and put together. What is unique about fretted instruments is that they revolve obviously around the fretboard as their central way of creating sound and tonality. Whereas with something like a piano, we have all the keys laid out in front of us, moving in sequence through the musical alphabet. The guitar could almost be seen as 6 separate short scale keyboards stacked on top of each other, moving through the musical alphabet, but all starting at different points, which makes things a little more complicated. It's for this very reason that the idea of shapes becomes a reasonably important theme in the process of learning guitar. Because of the way our fretboard is laid out, we're constantly engaging with shapes, the way different note combinations make shapes and patterns up the guitar neck, the limitations in the shapes our hands can actually play on the guitar neck, the way all of these shapes connect and interrelate and overlap as we move up the fretboard. That's why for many guitar players, utilizing fretboard diagrams is an essential tool to help sort through a lot of this information. Using fretboard diagrams as guitar players is something we can do regardless of what kind of skill level we're at in our playing ability. There are no real right or wrong ways to use these sorts of templates. Having said that, there are probably 3 main ways we would usually use these sorts of tools to help us in our playing. The first is just simply helping us map out and learn and memorize a lot of the shapes that we have on the fretboard. Scale shapes, chord shapes, shapes different intervals make up and down the neck, arpeggio shapes and so forth. Anyone who's a teacher is going to know how important it can be for students to be able to map all this stuff out visually so they can help themselves in learning and memorizing it. Even just the basic notes of the fretboard, being able to map them out on each string so we can learn how to locate the musical alphabet on our guitar neck is a really simple way to use these sorts of charts, which is really going to help us in our playing. The second way we can use these sorts of charts is to deal with the information we already know as guitar players. Obviously the end goal is to be musical in what we're doing. Knowing a whole bunch of shapes just for the sake of knowing shapes isn't really an end within itself. We want to be creative with this information. So being able to take that, map it all out, and be able to look at it and break it down and analyze it to a certain extent is going to help us in that process. What are the notes we're using? What are the different interval relationships in specific scales or chords that give them their unique tonality? How do they all relate together? How can I take that information and use it in a different part of the guitar neck? These are all fairly important questions that are sometimes hard to answer when all that information is just floating around in our head. So the use of neck diagrams in that situation can really help a lot of guitar players out. The third way we can use these sorts of diagrams is just as part of the creative process. When we are in the zone, coming up with new progressions and chord ideas and shapes and voicings and so on, being able to record that information in a way which is quick and easy, and in a way that we can come back a few weeks later and actually still remember what we're doing is quite important. It also means we can take that information through these charts and very easily communicate that to other guitar players also. So if you haven't been using neck diagrams as part of your learning process, there are a few reasons there that you might want to think about. If you are looking for some great templates, then it just so happens we've put together a fantastic pack especially for you guys, a really nice, simple, clean templates from the guitar neck, with or without the notes, various duplications of the guitar neck, charts where we've zoomed in on different areas, broken down the fretboard, keyed in on different things. There's more information there than you'd actually probably ever need, but at least it gives you some options. So where do I get them and how do I use them? Well, if you head across to our website, guitaristiq.com, and jump on our mailing list, it's the big button on the main page, we will send you a link where you can download the entire pack for free. How do you use them? If you're familiar with any basic graphics programs, I'm sure you'll work out how to load these in as templates and build on them from there. If you're not, I don't want to get too technologically advanced here, but you can always print these out on real paper and use pens or pencils. I know it's kicking it old school, but it works. So I'll leave that one with you to work out yourself. So whether or not you're using our templates isn't really the main point here. You might have your own templates you like to use. You might not like using templates at all. You might have software that does a similar thing. The main point is that you're utilizing whatever tools are available to you to help you in the learning process. At the end of the day, this whole thing is about learning and understanding in ways that make sense to us. Well, that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please head over to our website. If you are interested in that templates pack, jump on our mailing list, and as I said, we'll send you a link where you can download that for free. We'd love you to head over to our Facebook and like the page. While you're there, you can leave some comments and questions for any further videos that you might be interested in, topics and so forth. Other than that, please subscribe to our channel, and we hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.